Most years I pop in front of the camera and ramble on about how good or bad the year was for me. Last year, due to timing issues on my end, I wasn't able to get one of these videos out and just did a community post. For this year, we are mixing it up once again with a semi-scripted video of the top 10 videos on my channel based on performance. While the channel has been down substantially regarding overall view count, I'm still quite happy with the content that I've produced. All the links for the videos will be in the description box below. After the list, I'll give you my plans on what 2024 will bring and the channel and what you should expect. With that said, let's begin.
Outward Definitive Edition.
It's funny to me to see this game on the list considering that I just recently picked it back up on my end. My overall thoughts have still not changed. It's a very fun open world game with a heavy emphasis on Souls-like combat. My biggest gripe is at the same of how brutally difficult this game could be even with top tier equipment. The inventory system is also way too limited even on the biggest bags that you can find. Still, the ability to play this split screen makes it leagues better than many other titles. Overall, it still continues to be an enjoyable time.
Empire Earth 3.
Seeing this video on these lists is always a stark reminder of how long I've been doing this for. It's still shocking just how successful this video has become, even though it's a far cry to how I conduct my reviews today. For the game itself, there's not really much I have to add here. It sucked then, and it still sucks now with no news of a return of Empire Earth. Let's move on to the next one.
Steel Rising, Bastille Edition.
I'm not even sure why this game performed so well. It isn't a game that is talked about amongst peers, nor is it one of my personal favorite games. What ultimately stood out to me with this one is the setting. An alternative historical take on the French Revolution with androids and robots sounds pretty freaking awesome, and I really wanted to see this game all the way through. Unfortunately, it had a crap ton of performance issues on my machine, and it seems to be a pretty common issue throughout many people's experience with this game. Even though this game is plagued by poor optimization, I was hoping one day to get back into this game and see it all the way through. I was having fun, but I just wish there was a bit more polish.
Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Lockdown, Mission 1.
Again, I'm not so sure what is so special about this video. It's a pretty run-of-the-mill let's play in my opinion of an often forgotten entry in the Rainbow Six series. Even my former boss watched this all the way through and I have no idea why. Still, I always appreciate all the views regardless. For the game, I haven't gone back to it and I don't really plan to, unfortunately. Maybe if I get enough requests, but we shall see.
Osiris New Dawn.
Okay, this one I know exactly why it was so successful. And most of this was sheer luck on my part, but this review was released not too long before Osiris came out of early access. Unfortunately for the game though, almost none of the issues I brought up was addressed and it ended up being another early access failure. Heck, this game was so bad that you can't even buy it anymore on Steam. It was completely delisted on Steam due to all the negative feedback. It still technically is up on the Epic's Game Store, but I'm not sure why you would do that to yourself. Anyways, this game had all the tools to succeed with a handcrafted world, tons of crafting, and some pretty good graphics for the time, but unfortunately it somehow got worse with every update and then came out of early access as a rotting carcass. Apologies for the visual imagery, but I'm only telling you what ultimately happened. Avoid this game, but feel free to check my review on it.
Thea 2, The Shattering.
This one was pretty highly requested, so I'm not surprised to see it do so well, although other requested reviews have done very poorly on this channel. I also reviewed Thea 1, which I very much enjoyed and was excited to get my hands on this. Unfortunately, it feels like an ultimate step back from Thea 1 with overly convoluted and complicated mechanics and a huge emphasis on grinding for better resources to make better equipment. Also saw zero reason to continue or to ever create a camp, meaning that the best way was to be completely nomadic. My ideal Thea game would be to combine elements of 1 and 2 to make Thea 3. Currently there hasn't really been any news on that title, although I am looking forward to what Muha Games has in store next time.
Ancient Empires.
Mod reviews are something I want to do more on this channel, which I will expand upon later in this video. Ancient Empires is my second mod review, which is basically the Roman antiquity period in Total War Attila. Considering Attila is one of my favorite Total War games due to the date, I really was looking forward to this mod. Overall, there is some great work, although it can be very difficult depending on the faction you play. It's also way more of a sandbox since many of the factions included don't really have any victory conditions. Still, I enjoyed this mod immensely and I'm glad to see it all the way through and glad you guys enjoyed watching this.
Mechwarrior 5 Mercenaries.
I freaking love Mechwarrior 5. I love the freedom of the career mode, the various mechs you can find, and I even love the amazing modding community behind it. I would also very much highly recommend that you play this game with a joystick and a throttle. It makes the game so much more immersive and overall just incredibly fun to play. I love systematically and methodically taking down each mech that I find, first starting with its side torsos before working my way to the core itself. Also enjoy collecting these different mechs and being able to use them in battle. I can honestly keep going on and on about this game, but I'll stop here from now. Just know when Mechwarrior 5 Clans comes out, definitely expect a review.
Romance of the Three Kingdoms tier list.
2 and 1 are both tier lists, so I won't spend too much time on each. Romance of the Three Kingdoms is one of my favorite strategy series of all time, and I made this in order to somewhat celebrate the whole series. For the most part, my opinion on where each title belongs is about the same, with Romance of the Three Kingdoms X still remaining at my personal favorite iteration. Maybe the upcoming remake of 8 will change my mind, but we shall see.
Armored Core tier list.
Since making this video, there has been a new Armored Core game in Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. I've already said my piece on that game and I personally don't feel like reiterating it again without bringing someone out from the woodwork. I probably would put it in the dominant tier, meaning it is B tier. For how divisive that game has been, I wouldn't be surprised if some feel like that should be either Ninebreaker tier or Scrub tier respectively. Alright, and now let's talk about where I want this channel to be in 2024. One thing I really want to do is focus much more on mod reviews, and specifically I want to take a deeper look at more total conversion mods and see if they are worth grabbing or not. Not too long ago I looked at the Warhammer mod for Bannerlord, which was a ton of fun to go through. I'm always impressed honestly by just what modders can come up with when given the tools to do so, and I want to explore more of these experiences as a result. I have one planned for another Total War title, so hopefully that turns out well. In addition, I found a fairly good solution to recording PS2 games, and I actually did my first PS2 game review here on this channel with Dynasty Warriors 4 Empires. It was honestly an interesting experience battling the various technical issues, but I'm overall happy with the end result. I plan on taking a look at a couple more PS2 titles, so expect more of those in the future. Also for next year, you should expect most of my videos to be released on Sundays instead of Saturdays, and this will just give me a bit of extra times in terms of getting the videos ready and should help with some content output. Now, as to why I think this channel did so bad compared to last year, and I think that one is pretty obvious. I took a month-long break in January where not a single video was released, and the algorithm basically reduced my views by a pretty wide amount. And since I don't let the algorithm decide my fate, I will still be taking a month off in January to focus more on my personal health and life outside of YouTube. I'm not getting burnt out or anything, but I am becoming busier due to my ever-changing work conditions. Therefore, I'd like to take that month to focus on my career and put myself in a better position mentally. Either way, I thank you guys for watching as always. Really do appreciate all the support that you've given me throughout the years. Be sure to continue to like, share, and subscribe, and definitely going to be a lot more reviews in the future. And let me know if there's anything in particular you want me to take a look at, whether it be a new release coming out this year or a release that came out in the past. Either way, thank you all for watching, and this is Powerhouse, signing off.